So in the last video we talked about the top 5 things you should know about keeping African cichlids. Well, on this video we're going to talk about the top 5 ways to maintain healthy African cichlids. So stay tuned, we're going to get started. Alright, so number one is going to be probably the most important one of this whole entire video, and that's maintenance. What do I mean by maintenance? I mean getting your hands and your arms in the tank, gravel back in, siphoning water out, adding water back in, all the stuff that people don't like to do. Well, if you want to keep African cichlids, this is a must. They're very beautiful fish, but at the same time they're very dirty fish. And plus, mostly with African cichlids, you're going to be keeping a considerable amount in your tank in order to cut the aggression down. So more fish, more waste. Alright, so number 2, monitoring the fish's feeding habits. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is, don't just chuck the food in there and walk away and go off and do something else. Like me personally, I'll stand in front of my tank when I feed these guys. I'll stand there and watch them for 10 minutes just to make sure everybody's eating, make sure, you can check on other things too, not just feeding. You can check on, what kind of shape the fish are in, if you got fighting going on, anything like that. So you want to monitor when you feed your fish. You don't want to put too much in there, but at the same time, you don't want to put too little, and then one of the less aggressive fish isn't getting enough to eat, because then they're also gonna have a problem there. So please, if you're gonna keep African cichlids, you have to monitor the feeding habits of these fish. I can't stress that enough. All right, so number 3, we're gonna talk about monitoring the fish's behavior. And what I mean by that is, you wanna make sure nobody's getting beat up. You wanna make sure you don't have a tank bully. I mean, it's inevitable you're going to have a tank boss. But when you have a tank boss, you want your tank to look calm like this. You want them to be keeping order, not creating chaos, basically. So monitoring the fish's behavior. If you have a bully in there, you might have to rehome him if you can't get him to calm down, if you've quarantined him, however you do to quarantine your fish or separate a bully or whatever, you might have to rehome them. You might have to rehome them to your local fish store if they'll take them, or go on your local Facebook fish keeping page and you might find somebody there that would be able to take them from you. But you always want to monitor the behavior of these fish. Alright, number 4. Sometimes less is more. Now, what I mean by that is, in a perfect world, we would all keep African cichlids in a 125 or bigger. In a perfect world. Well, we don't live in a perfect world, unfortunately. So, not everybody can have a 125. Either they don't have the room, or it's just not feasible for them at the moment. So, let's take a 55 gallon, for example. Obviously, you don't want to keep haps in there. I've gone over that before. I don't need to go through that again. But, you're going to be keeping mbunas and peacocks in a 55. You don't want to throw like 30 to 40 fish in a 55 gallon, because you got to remember, both of these species, like the majority of them can get up to like between 5 and 7 inches. So try to picture 30, 40, 5 to 7 inch fish swimming around in a 55 gallon tank. It's just, there's not enough room. Also, it throws your parameters way off. It creates ammonia spikes, nitrate spikes, nitrite spikes, all the stuff that can kill our fish and make us leave the hobby, and we don't want that. We want to stay in the hobby. So just remember, sometimes less is more. You don't have to go out and buy every cichlid you see, every time you go to the fish store. Just practice self-control. That's all I can say. Alright, last but certainly not least, number 5, checking the water parameters. As a new cichlid keeper especially, you want to be checking your parameters every week. And how do you check your parameters? Well, there's 2 different ways you can do it. They have the API liquid test kit, which I strongly recommend because it's a lot more accurate, and they have the test strips. Either one will work fine, but you get a better reading and a better gauge of what the number actually is with the liquid test kit. And you can get that liquid test kit from KG Tropicals. I'll put a link in the description down below, so you can go there and you can go ahead and get you one, and one of the many other great products that they sell it down that website. So that's it. Got it all laid out for you. I want to thank y'all for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this series, and I will catch you on the next one.